Kia ora, Bulavinaka. Thank you, Matt, for inviting us to present. My name is Lora Waqabitu. I am one of the Community Engagement Advisors at Safekids Aotearoa, and I will be presenting our home safety program, which is in partnership with ACC. So a little bit about us. So we are a service of Starship Hospital. We were established in the 90s by Starship Trauma Services to help reduce preventable injuries. So there were high rates during the time. Our target group is the age between 0 to 14. We're also funded by the Ministry of Health and part of a global network of Safe Kids worldwide, which is based out of these states. So why a home injury program? So we know that around 70% of our lives are spent in the home, and a lot of the injury to our tamariki are based in the home. So when we talk about the home in our program, we're talking about the edge of the backyard to the edge of the front yard, and this also includes the driveway. So we know, just like Bridget Cool has mentioned already, that unintentional injury is the third leading cause of deaths, and this is behind SUDI and our medical issues. We also know that 60% of injury that happened by hospitalization was from the home environment. And we also know where there's a lot of financial hardship, this increases the risk of unintentional injury. Our Māori and Pacific whānau are overrepresented in the data as well. So that's why we have an equity focus on our Māori and Pacific. So again, who is most at risk? Our focus is the under 5-year-olds. You can see in the dark blue, they are overrepresented in the data. And then also, we know that falls is the leading cause of home injury, followed by inanimate mechanical forces. So these are fingers getting caught in the doorways, TVs, and furnitures falling onto our children. Then it goes to poisoning, burns, and so on. So we break it down into our ethnicity data. Again, Māori are overrepresented, followed by our Pacific tamariki, our European, and then our Asian. So this makes us focus on our target population being our Māori and Pacific whānau of our program. So what is our home safety program? It is our national flagship program. It was established in 2016, and we have been renewed now to continue it into 2022. It is a partnership with ACC, and it has 6 key components, which I'll go off now. So our approach, we did do a face-to-face approach in actions and also a digital component to it, as well as an education element as well. So we have our home safety whare, we created Toolkits, we built an app called Whare Kahika, we had the national workshops and wānangas. We also did collaborations for our webinars, and then our biggest component is our home safety device program. So our home safety device program is broken down into 3 key components. It's assessment, education, and safety devices. So we partnered with 27 organizations nationally to run this program. These organizations are community-based organizations, and they go into the whānau home to do assessments and see what the whānau's needs are in the home. And then the second element to that is education, so sitting down with the whānau and going through that kōrero and conversation around what are some key tips. So we're moving away from the don't do this conversation, but into how can we actually make some actionable items. And then on top of the education, we also offer devices. So we know that education does work, but the barrier is the devices. The cost of the devices themselves means that some of our whānau aren't able to protect their tamariki. So we offer 20 free devices. Through the program, we were able to reach close to 6,000 whānau. So these are the free devices that we offer, from TV anchor locks to cabinet slide and locks, safety gates, fire guards, bath mats. We have a really open dialogue with those community providers and our partners, and they let us know, look, some of the safety gates are not fitting quite right, and we're able to mitigate that by going, okay, let's get some extensions for the whānau as well so they can put it in. So these are our 27 home safety program partners. For us, it's really important to acknowledge them in any space that we go to, because they are the ones on the ground doing the mahi in the communities, doing the hard work. So we have 11 Māori providers. We have healthy home initiative providers as well. And again, we're national-wide, so these organisations are from the top of the North Island all the way to the South Island. So some of the outcomes with the whānau, so through the program, we noticed that we identified So we identified just over 15,000 hazards and risks in the whānau homes. And through the program, we were able to mitigate 94% of those risks through the program. 87% of the whānau that we reached identified as Māori and Pacific whānau. So again, that goes to us reaching the target audience population of Pacific and Māori whānau. From those whānaus, we know that they were 80% likelihood to share the knowledge that they gained and also increase their knowledge. And the reason I put 27 organisation partners up there as a success for us is because originally we started with 5. We were able to increase that to 27. And again, this year, hoping to increase that even more. So our home safety whare was this really awesome, lively, miniature version of a home that whānau were able to walk through each room and see some of the risks in each room. It was interactive, they were able to push buttons, watch screens, but also the thing was it shared key messages to the whānau. So from that, we know that 13,000 whānau actually went through the experience itself. We went across 15 DHBs and to 36 events. So of those, the people that did go through the whare, we know that 96% of those actually went home and did some kind of entry prevention for their home. 83% were able to share the information on, and 30% actually went inside their home and did a whole safety check of their whare. So back off the whare that we created home safety toolkits. So these are 5 interactive activities. 4 of them are interactive. One is actually a reference card. So this is to move away from the pamphlet and the poster giving to actually getting the whānau to engage in the conversation of choking, traumatic brain injury, poisons, and button battery. And what was awesome about this is we created the toolkits specifically for our community workers to take it on the go into a group setting, into one-on-one, into open days, so they can talk about unintentional injury prevention and get people coming up to them and what's that? How is that a brain in a jar? How is that? How do you play this poison game? So it was really interactive. And the 5th element to our home safety toolkit is actually the reference card here. So in the reference card, we put the top 10 unintentional injuries. And this is easy for the community workers to reference back into what are the key messages, who is it happening to, what are some of the hospitalization stats, and it's all by age groups. We built an app called Whare Kai Ka, and this is our bilingual app. It is downloadable on Android and Apple devices, if anyone, Apple and Android devices, if you'd like to download that. So this was launched end of last year. It actually is an app that you can walk around your home and go through questions like a checklist to see how safe your home is. At the end of it, it gives you an itemized list of what you could do to mitigate some of the risks in your home. We hoped to get 500 users to download the app, but we were able to smash that and we got over 2,000 downloaded. So that was really awesome. We're also hoping to translate the app into Tongan and Samoa next. So we also held national workshops and wānangas right across Aotearoa. We aimed to do 30 of these. Last year was a bit difficult due to COVID, but we also did 7 traumatic brain injuries at the end of last year for our wānanga. So we used the wānanga as the basis to run our toolkits. So we were able to distribute those 300 toolkits right across New Zealand. They were interactive workshops based off the feedback, and also when we were in certain regions, we were able to adjust the data to the regional focus. So our evaluation outcomes, we had a 94% positive rating for the workshops, and what was more important for us was that Those that attended the workshops were serving, 53% of them were serving Pacific communities, 69% were serving Māori communities. And that goes back to us educating those that are facing, front-facing for our communities. So we also did 10 webinars last year, covering 5 home safety topics. So that was from poisons to driveway runovers to choking. But we also did 5 collaboration pieces with those that we share the unintentional injury space with. And that was with Hapai Te Hauora. We also did one with Dr. Natasha Duncan-Sutherland for dog bites. Yeah, and we're hoping to continue doing webinars because those are really important to keeping the knowledge of our communities up to date. It wouldn't be a presentation without a plug, so feel free to follow us on Safekids Aotearoa. We have some really specific community-based videos there that you could share across your networks. Our webinars are on our Safekids YouTube page, and of course our glorious web page is also there. So this is just a snapshot of our home safety program.